Hey everyone, Darealist here, and it's been a while since I made my last video, so we have a lot to talk about today. This will be quite a long video, so I hope you guys can stick to the end. Let's just get to the point here. So all this hype kind of started yesterday, because Haunter started to announce that Spirit would be sending them a mystery package, and they've been doing this since 2021. And to be honest, I didn't really think too much of it. And then today, just out of nowhere, this all happened. So I'm gonna explain what was in the box first. And there are photos I can show you right now. I will credit the people who, took the photos, I guess. So, yeah. So, in the box, well, let's just start off with the outside. It's just a wooden box. It says Spirit Hallows Cemetery on the top of it, but it does pretty much indicate that that is the theming of this year. But inside the box, that's when things get interesting. So inside the box, there's this letter, and it reads on one side, dig in. I'll get to what it says on the other side later, but you can look at the bottom of the box here, and there's this ground type thing. So you're supposed to essentially dig it with an included shovel. And underneath is a coffin. There's dirt too. It's pretty cool. But in the coffin there is something small in there. It's a Lord Dekanovar fridge magnet. So pretty neat little thing. But what we really care about the most here is what the back of that letter has. So the back of that letter has a QR code, and it leads you to a page on the website that has not been seen before. And this website page has a lot to discuss. So I'm going to show you guys what is on this page right now. Alright, so here is the page. I just pulled it up. So, you are greeted with the text, "Welcome to Spirit Hallows Cemetery." That's the same logo that was on the box. And beneath it, there's actually a video you can watch. So I'll go ahead and play that video for you guys right now. And there's a lot to say and look at in this video. So I'm gonna play the video, and then after the video is over, I'm going to tell you guys everything that can be seen, and then we're going to move on from there. So here we go. Now, unless you've been keeping up with Spirit's recent teasers, you might be a little confused. These tombstones are actually quite important because they have the names of animatronics that will be released in 2023. Some of them are old animatronics from the past, and the rest are new ones. So we have a lot to see in this, so I'm gonna go over everything one by one, and we'll just go on from there. So let's see. Alright, so this is similar to pretty much every other Spirit teaser. There's flashes of lightning or something. But the first animatronic tombstone we see is Dagger Mike, and it has two daggers, and on the bottom of the tombstone it says "No more tricks." So in this shot you can see all the tombstones, but I can only really read two. So the first one you can obviously see is Dagger Mike's, and we already know what that says, but we have two new ones that we haven't looked at yet. So the first one I can read says "Eternal Rest, their love was doomed," and it has some eyes on it. And the next one shows the name of Desmodus, which means vampire bat. And this one says "Born Mean." And there's wings and I guess some sort of cave, I guess. And then this one, you can see the Deathstalker tombstone. And this was in the Halfway to Halloween teaser a few months ago. This one says his hunger was insatiable, and it shows a claw, so it could be a werewolf or something. And then the next shot we see here is the Spirit Hollow Cemetery sign. You can come in, but you will never leave. And that was also in the Halfway to Halloween teaser, so pretty cool to see that. And then next, we can see the the Devil Cherub from Crazy Create, the Talking Devil Cherub. Its listing was found a few months ago on Spirit's website, but it's not really anything too special. I guess it's like a static prop, because it doesn't look like its mouth would move or it would do anything else. And then after that, you can see the Darling Dolly tombstone that says, "Here lies Darling Dolly, forever changed, with one eye open and one eye closed." And that eye looks very cool, so maybe it has like something to do with its eyes. After that, we can see a tombstone that has no name on it, and it just says, "He was a brave warrior." I'm not really sure what could be on the tombstone, but it literally looks like a cracked egg. But I feel like this is that skeleton prop on the shovel from the Halfway to Halloween teaser, because a lot of people were speculating it was like some sort of pilot, some sort of knight, something of some sort. And then after that, you can see something that I'm really excited for, but also really worried for. This is the Grave Watcher tombstone. In loving memory, Grave Watcher, forever vigilant. I am so happy, but so worried about this prop. Now, I say happy because I've wanted Grave Watcher for so many years, one of my favorite props. But I say worried because they're going to be made by YJ this year, and I don't know how to feel about that. YJ is a great company and all, but honestly, I'm worried that they'll ruin Grave Watcher. I really hope that it stays true to the original, has the same animation and everything too. And then here, we have a Slim tombstone. Here lies Slim. Now this is going to be for the Killer Clowns animatronic, Slim. We have been rumored to get a Slim animatronic for a few months now. Or no, not specifically Slim, but a Killer Clown. And after that, you can see a shot of a tombstone that has the name Heckles, and it says anything for the last laugh. It does have balloons on it too, so probably has something to do with balloons. And then another tombstone that has the name Stilts. He would do anything to be the best, and it has a bowling pin on the top of the tombstone, so that's quite interesting. Next, you can see this tombstone that has a weird mouth, and it says, "Here lies poor George. He was a good clown, though his body survived, his mind was tormented." And then after that, you can see something that's kind of exciting, in memory of Thomas Brown Hewitt, and that is Leatherface. We've gotten 3 Leatherface props this year so far. The Lowe's one from Jemmy, I think the Techie Toys, I'm gonna assume Party City one, and now we have this one that's from Spirit, but we're getting 3 Leatherface props this year, so quite interesting. So the next tombstone we can see here has a picture of a poison bottle, and it says the Cauldroness, keep your kids close. And then the next one we can see here says Hellspawn, even the devil needs a hand, and it has horns on top of it. Then there's the Desmodus tombstone again, just seen better. It does have wings and like a cave depicted on it. And then the Eternal Rest tombstone again, so yeah, we've already talked about that. And then after that is something new. This tombstone says, "Here lies the black heart, be careful about what you wish for." and there's a heart on top of the tombstone. And then here is one a lot of people are excited about except for me. I'm sorry I'm saying this, but creepy rising doll. I'm going to admit, this animatronic is kind of scary. I remember seeing it in person back in the day, and it was quite terrifying, but it's not really that good. I'm not really too sure what the hype is for this prop, but I mean, I guess it's good for the people who do want it, so that's nice. But yeah, it says creepy rising doll, let's play a little game. Now there is one more tombstone I would like to talk about, and I can't read the name because it's hidden behind the other tombstone seen in the teaser, but it's just there, something to think about. Nothing to really say about this one, except, yeah, it's just there, it's hidden, you can't see it, so yeah, that was pretty much it for the teaser. So now we are going to move on to talk about the actual animatronics. And the way things are this year are quite interesting. So I'm going to show you guys right now. On screen right now it says Directory of Residents, and there are 15 items to go through here. The Black Heart, the Cauldroness, Creepy Rising Doll, Dagger Mike, Darling Dolly, Deathstalker, Desmodus, Eternal Rest, Grave Watcher, Heckles, Hellspawn, Leatherface, Poor George, Slim, and Stilts. So there are 15 animatronics to go through, but you may notice that all these animatronic pictures are just gravestones. Well, basically, what I'm thinking is that for now, the animatronics are like supposed to be in the ground, buried, but after like a few days, one will be, I guess you could say, dug up from the grave and unveiled in a sneak peek. There won't be like a countdown this year, it'll be normal sneak peeks, which a lot of people are excited about. And we haven't gotten those in a while, so it'll be weird seeing those again. But I am excited for when these do come out, so let's go over all these animatronics one by one. We'll get into them right now, so here we go. Alright, so the first animatronic we have to talk about here is the 6.5 foot The Black Heart animatronic. Now, again, these don't really have any description as to what they do, what they look like, really. So, we just have their stories for now. So, the Black Heart is made by Crazy Create, so that's quite interesting, but even more interesting is the price, because this thing is $300 and it's made by Crazy Create. Not gonna lie, that's very bad. But let's just read the story. Ava should have been married. In her old-fashioned village, she was already considered a spinster by the age of 25. Her friends had all found love, and she ached to be next. As the sun set on another lonely evening, Ava succumbed to her last resort. According to local lore, if she climbed into a freshly dug grave in the town cemetery at exactly midnight, her true love would show up at sunrise and revive her with a kiss. When Ava woke up the following morning, with her lips pressed against the cold, dead kiss of her undead master, she learned the true meaning of being careful about what you wish for. Now, the next animatronic we will be looking at is the 3.9 foot The Cauldroness animatronic. So, this is a witch prop. It's probably going to be bad like every other witch prop, except for Flaming Black Widow, at least that I can think of. Witch of Soul and Souls wasn't too bad either. But let's just read the story. This is what we came here for. Boil, bubble, toil, and trouble. The Cauldroness has been alive since the original Witch's Sabbath, creaking across the earth for hundreds of years. Fueled by her wicked potion, she meticulously gathers ingredients, scouring the earth for its rare and delicate ingredients. But the one she needs the most isn't found at the local cemetery. It's only found pumping inside your chest. And the fresher it is, the better it is for the Cauldroness. So you'd best keep your kids close and your eyes open if you hear her muttering her recipe. So, I feel like since it's so small, it's gonna be a sitting witch stirring a cauldron or something. But she's being manufactured by Techie Design, and she's $280. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I already explained earlier, but yeah, don't really care for this one much. Creepy Rising Doll, same one from 2015. I guess they gave it a backstory, so no one wanted to play house, dollies, or even hide and seek with her at Mrs. Broward's home for wayward girls. She waited and waited, asking everyone with her sweet voice to join her for a game, but they all scurried away. The longer she stood there asking, the faster they ran away. Now, anyone curious enough to pity the poor girl for a game ends up playing their final turn. So yeah, it's just Creepy Rising Doll. There's nothing to really say about her. There's probably nothing different about it either, so yeah, Creepy Rising Doll is back. And she will be $230 and made by Seasonal Visions. There's only like 3 SVI props this year, or 2, I can't really remember, but yeah, it's kind of strange how there's not really many this year, so it is what it is. Alright, so the next animatronic we are going to be talking about is the 4.9 foot Crazy Create Dagger Mic animatronic. So as I said, it is made by Crazy Create, and it will be sold for $170, $169.99. So Dagger Mike's backstory says, some kids are just born nasty. Dagger Mike was never a normal kid. He liked rats, bugs, knives, creepy clowns, and scaring the heck out of everyone in the neighborhood. Then when he turned 9, he started to get creative, employing elaborate traps to trick the local kids and send them running home. However, the locals caught on quickly and tried to put an end to Mike games, so instead he opted for something simpler, a cute clown outfit and 2 little daggers. Now there are no more tricks, so when you see Mike, you better steer clear or be ready for your final surprise. So, I'm gonna assume like, maybe he's a jump scare prop, and I guess in the backstory, maybe they like, I don't know, maybe it's implying they killed him or something, but it's just a clown holding daggers, pretty much. So, nothing really much to say about this, but I am interested to see what it would be like. $170 doesn't seem like it's a bad price either. So next up, we're going to be talking about the Techie Toys 7-foot Darling Dolly animatronic. So, I'm not really too sure about what this could be, but it's 7 foot tall, and it's going to sell for $280, $279.99. And quite interesting, so let's read this. In the early 1930s, little Sally Smith found a Darling Dolly doll buried in the backyard of her family's new home. The Smiths hesitated to keep the doll, but it was already too late. Sally had already become infatuated with the doll. Weird things started happening around the house. Miss Smith blamed Darling Dolly. One night, in a panic during a terrible thunderstorm, Mrs. Smith buried Darling Dolly in the same spot little Sally had unearthed her. But when lightning struck Mrs. Smith's steel shovel, Dolly's grave lit up with an eerie blue glow. The doll and Mrs. Smith were forever changed into something far more sinister. Sally swore it was a nightmare, but her father knew his wife was gone forever, and Darling Dolly would be back to claim her next victim. So maybe this has something to do with Riot? But it does say something like forever changed, so maybe it's, I don't really know. Maybe that will explain the 7 foot tall height. I don't know, it could be a jump scare prop or something. I don't really know. But what's interesting is that when you see her tombstone in the teaser, you can hear Lunging Lily's audio. I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, but I'm mentioning it again anyways. So, there's a chance that A, Lunging Lily is coming back, or B, they both have the same audio. But if they both have the same audio, that would kind of suck. I would prefer for her to have original audio. But Darling Dolly, that's pretty much it for her. I'm quite interested to see how this animatronic will play out. seems pretty cool. The next animatronic we are going to be talking about is the Myuu 7.3 feet Deathstalker. This was in the Halfway to Halloween teaser, the Tombstone for it at least. So, the Deathstalker is scratching at your window. He is growling beneath the floorboards and is the thing hiding underneath your bed. The Deathstalker is the shadow hiding behind the abandoned doll factory. He's clawing his way up the basement stairs, scuttling around in the attic, and breathing down the back of your neck while you wait alone late at night at the bus stop. But most of all, the Deathstalker is hungry. He is ravenous, starving, and salivating over your bones. The Deathstalker smells your fears and turns them into a living nightmare before he devours what's left of your mind as a midnight snack. Yum. So, I guess this is like some sort of werewolf because, yeah, what else would it be? I think it's definitely a werewolf. It can't be anything else, really. This animatronic will be $280 and it is online only, sadly. Kind of sucks. I'm pretty sure they could have made room for it somewhere. Alright, well this one might be one of my favorites based off of how it sounds, because we obviously don't know what these look like yet or what they do, but based off of like what we know about it right now, it's one of my favorites. This is the techie design 6-foot Desmodus animatronic. It'll be sold for $230, so it's quite an interesting one. Let me read its story. Some are just born mean. The bloodthirsty bat was born deep in the caves of the rainforest, emerging after years of gorging on unsuspecting forest dwellers. As his hunger grew, so did his size. His appetite is insatiable, so he spends nights stalking all manner of victims to drain them of their precious blood. You'd be wrong if you think you're safe, because you walk upright. Humans are his favorite meal. So, Desmodus means vampire bat. So, essentially, that's what this would be. Now, for this, I'm wondering, like, if it's going to be human-like, or if it's just going to be, like, Deadly Creeper and be a giant vampire bat. Either way, it sounds pretty cool. I'm hoping it's human-like, but also it would be cool if it were, like, Deadly Creeper, so, yeah. The next animatronic we're going to be talking about is Eternal Rest. Now, this animatronic is made by Sound and Light Animatronics, the same people who made Tombstone Terror last year, and is being sold for $140, $139.99. And this is 3 foot tall. Have a lot of short tops this year. So, let me just read this story. Everyone said their love was doomed. Her parents barred her from seeing him, her brothers locked her in her room night after night, and her sisters tried everything, including hiding her away at the local nunnery, but nothing kept her from his arms, not even death. When her love turned up dead, mysteriously murdered one cold October night, she vowed never to leave his side. Now she weeps for eternity, turned to stone by his hardened grip, his final form of revenge from beyond this world. So, I'm quite interested in what this would be, and I'm saying this a lot, but I genuinely mean it. Like, all these sound super intriguing, and I want to know more about them, so we're gonna have to wait for them to release, but this one sounds very cool. Now might be my favorite out of all the animatronics we know of so far is the YJ 3-foot Grave Watcher. So Grave Watcher is $80 now. Last time they were like $69, $70, whatever it was. So not a big increase, especially for it being made by a better company. I really hope that it's pretty much the same thing, except the build is just way better. The Grave Watcher is eternal. Keeping a tormented vigil over the dead is their punishment for past sins against the underworld that even the devil himself can't speak of. So now Grave Watcher waits endlessly for their own demise, forced to lull the dead to sleep night after night, listening to the unholy moaning of the thousands of corpses taunting them, while Grave Watcher begs to feel the icy grip of death for one final slumber. So, yeah, that's pretty much the whole story. It never really had one until now, so yeah. Alright, this is a Seasonal Visions one, and we don't really have many Seasonal Visions one this year. This is the 6.5-foot Heckles animatronic. He will be sold for $279.99, $280, and his story reads, Heckles was one of the best comedians on the Borscht Belt circuit, cutting down all contenders with his quick wit and razor-sharp insults, until one night, a little too full of himself and wine, Heckles took on a new comedian who reduced him to shreds. Now with no confidence left and laughed out of the biz, he hustles balloons for a few bucks. Unfortunately, the kids and their parents don't know that he fills the balloons up with poisonous gases, anything to get the last laugh. That is all too reminiscent of nozzles for some reason. I wonder if the balloons will have some sort of gimmick. Maybe this prop will be fog compatible. I really hope it is, but it does sound quite interesting. Alright, this is another one I like a lot. This is the Techie Design Hellspawn. This animatronic is $329.99, $330, and it's 4.9 feet tall, so it's probably something like a dog. I don't know. I keep feeling like it's a dog, but it's probably not. But let me just read the story. Even the devil needs a hand. After a life of sin, lies, and deceit, a world of endless pain and suffering was the inevitable outcome for his life. Ever the scammer and con artist, he managed to strike a deal with the devil. Now reborn as the powerful demon, Hellspawn, he sits at the right-hand side of Satan himself. Every night, Hellspawn emerges from the inferno to cheat, connive, and convince new souls to do the devil's bidding. Resist his temptations or suffer greatly as he drags you to hell. Alright, so we have about 3 more to talk about after this. So we have the Party Time 6-foot Leatherface Pretty Woman mask animatronic from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. So licensed props don't really have stories, but I'll just read the description anyways. Once you hear the revving of Leatherface's chainsaw this Halloween, you'll know it's already too late to run, and you'll soon become his next victim. Make this officially licensed Leatherface Pretty Woman mask animatronic a part of your Halloween display, and you'll always be showing your fandom for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. With his brute strength and bone-chilling screams of rage, this cannibalistic serial killer is sure to give your friends and family a fright. You never know what kind of mood he'll be until you get a good look at his face. We've gotten 3 Leatherfaces this year. We got the one from Lowe's, the Party City one, which looks crazy, and we have this one now, and this will be retailing for $349.99. So this is the 4.2 feet Poor George animatronic by Crazy Create. It'll be sold for $179.99, $180. So this is a clown animatronic, and let me just read the story real quick. George was a good clown. He made the kids laugh, the parents smile, and kept the circus happy. Then a strange thing happened on Halloween. George was performing for tips in the street while the circus was on winter break, when an out-of-control car careened around the corner and sliced him in half. Amazingly, George's body survived the accident, but his mind became tormented. Instead of jokes and gags, he now stares down passerby laughing maniacally, but they better not stay too long because poor George will ensure they don't get very far. So, for some reason, I feel like this is a Spike reskin with a twist to it. I'm not sure what it would be, but honestly, it does sound quite interesting. Now, this is the most expensive animatronic of the year, and it's Slim. He is 7.2 feet tall and is made by Party Time. Bro, before I even say anything about his story, well, he doesn't really have one. Before I say anything else, $400 for a Party Time prop is crazy, and he better be worth it. And I already thought $350 was a lot. Well, think again. So, Slim's description says, if you happen to see any giant shadow puppets for this Halloween, look out, because that can only mean one thing. The killer clowns from outer space are back, and ready to cause some wacky mayhem this holiday. Turn your Halloween display into a killer clown circus this Halloween with this officially licensed Slim animatronic. As one of the most prominent clowns from the film, Slim is not to be taken lightly. With his signature bright pink clown jumpsuit, head of orange hair with mini balloons, and his sinister smile, Slim is always on the hunt for any helpless humans he can capture to feed his crew. Equipped with his green popcorn bag he has in the film, get too close and you might just get shrunk and end up being the killer clown's next tasty snack. And the last animatronic we are talking about today is the Party Time Stilts. So this is 7.9 feet tall, which is absolutely crazy. I think that is the tallest prop we know of so far. And this is in stores. So he's $350, same as Leatherface, and is Party Time. So his description reads, juggling can be a cutthroat competition, and Stilts would do anything to be the best in the business, even if it meant knocking out the competition. He was sure his 10-pin juggling act would impress the judges, but when he lost to a chainsaw-tossing lumberjack, he couldn't handle it, so Stilts used his 10 pins and took out the competition permanently. Now he stalks the city streets begging to impress unsuspecting onlookers with his act, but they better cheer loud enough, otherwise it's the last show they will ever see. So, I don't really know what this guy could do. Maybe he's like, I don't know, he's supposed to be a juggler, so there's not really much I can think of he'd do, because juggling obviously won't work out, but I don't know, he could really be anything. Something to do with pins, though, that's all I can really say. But he is the last animatronic we're talking about today, so with that, let's wrap everything up. Alright everyone, as usual, thanks so much for watching today's video. Did take quite a while to make because there was so much to talk about. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like, and if you would like to see more Halloween content, consider subscribing to the channel. I will be uploading a lot more now because the season has begun. And stay tuned for sneak peeks because I will definitely be making videos on those. But until next time, this is Darealist signing off, and I hope to see you in